हाथ से साफ कर
Good morning, one and all.
Recording in
Again,
progress.
as we begin the first panel discussion of the day, we turn our focus to the theme AI for public good. This session will explore how artificial intelligence can meaningfully transform healthcare, education, and citizen services while remaining grounded in human values, quality, equity, and inclusion. To guide this important conversation, we are privileged to have Mr. Ronak Sharma as the moderator for this session. Mr. Sharma, an MBA and MCom, is currently serving as an assistant professor of soft skills and communication at ICFAITech, the ICFAI University, Jaipur. With over 18 years of experience across corporate and academic sectors, he has worked with reputed organizations such as Genpact, Kingfisher, UEI Global, JNU Jaipur, and JECRC. His professional journey spans academic leadership, entrepreneurship, and managerial roles. And his areas of expertise include soft skills, business communication, HRM, marketing, French language and literature, and data analytics. I now invite Mr. Ronak Sharma to take over, introduce our panelists, and moderate this panel session on AI for public good. We look forward to an engaging and insightful exchange under his moderation.
Thank you, sir. Good morning, everyone. On behalf of IcfaiTech, I warmly welcome you to this highly anticipated panel discussion on AI for good, transforming healthcare, education, governance, and society. Artificial intelligence is no longer a futuristic concept. It is shaping healthcare diagnostics, transforming classrooms, redefining governance, and directly impacting the lives of citizens. But with this power comes responsibility to design AI that is ethical, inclusive, scalable, and truly beneficial to humanity. To explore these dimensions, we have with us an exceptional panel of industry leaders and academic experts who bring deep technical insight, strategic thinking, and real-world experience. I would now like to introduce our esteemed panelists to you. Our first panelist is Mr. Abhishek Bora, a dynamic senior engineering manager with 20 years of experience in software development, DevOps, cloud transformation, and AI-driven enterprise systems. He has led large cross-functional teams in global organizations, including Saiteva, Beckman, Coulter, Tech Mahindra, Target Corporations, Philips, and Siemens, delivering mission-critical healthcare life sciences platforms. His expertise span AI-driven predictive analytics, DevOps automation, cloud migration, healthcare systems, including HIS, RIS, and medical devices. At Saiteva, he is currently leading 30+ professionals, driving AI-based automation and predictive monitoring that has reduced downtime by 40% and operational cost by 20%. A visionary leader with deep domain expertise in healthcare, AI cloud, and automation. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Abhishek Bora to this. May I now request Dr. Rana Mukherjee to present a sampling as a token of our welcome. Thank you, sir. Our next distinguished panelist is Mr. Nipun Vyas, a seasoned IT professional with over 20 years of experience across software development, architecture, product leadership, and AI-driven systems. He is currently working with Hewlett Packard Enterprise as a software expert, architect, full stack. His academic credentials include BTech from MBM Engineering College, Jaipur, MTech from IIIT Bangalore, Executive PG Diploma in AI and ML from IIIT Bangalore. His work focuses on data center management platforms, cloud R&D, and AI-powered enterprise software, particularly integrating AI into user interface for real-world business impact. A technologist, architect, and innovation leader, please welcome Mr. Nipun Vyas. May I request Dr. Mukesh Kalla to please present a sampling to welcome. Thank you, sir. Our next panelist is Dr. Mushtaq Ahmed, Associate Professor with Head of the Department of Computer Science and Engineering at MNIT Jaipur. With 26 years of academic excellence, he holds a PhD from MNIT Jaipur and has published 90 plus research papers, secured 2 patents in blockchain, guided 8 PhDs, currently mentoring 6 research scholars. His research domain includes IoT, blockchain, wireless sensor networks, cloud computing, embedded systems, AI in healthcare. A scholar deeply engaged in research, innovation, and academic leadership. Please welcome Dr. Mushtaq Ahmed. May I request Dr. Vyas to present a sampling as a token of our welcome. Thank you, sir. Our next panelist is Mr. Sarthak Acharji, currently serving as Lead Enterprise Sales and Global Head Campus Recruitment at Celebral Technologies. With a rare professional journey spanning developer, HR professional, and sales leader, he brings a powerful mix of technical expertise, strategic business insight, talent development leadership. He actively works with global enterprises in data, AI, and cloud transformation, while also spearheading national initiatives focused on future-ready workforce development, aligned with his vision of making India deployable. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Sarthak Acharya. May I request Dr. R.K. Chaurasia to please present a sampling to welcome. Thank you, sir. Our final panelist is Dr. Neeraj Kumar Verma, Assistant Professor at the School of Computer Science and Engineering, Manipal University, Jaipur. With 20 plus years of academic and industry-linked experience, he holds a PhD in Artificial Intelligence, specializing in text-based classification and intelligence systems, and has published extensively in SCI Scopus and Web of Science journals, authored academic books, served as guest editor of Q1 journals, filed multiple patents. His expertise bridges AI research, education technology, and applied machine learning systems. Please welcome Dr. Neeraj Kumar Verma. I request Dr. Sudhi to please present the sampling to Dr. Neeraj as a welcome. Thank you, everyone. We would now begin the much anticipated panel discussion here, which I would be moderating. It's a privilege for me to be speaking with all of you, sir. So we have different areas where AI is being used extensively. We would first focus on healthcare and life sciences. And my question would be particularly to Mr. Abhishek Gora first. Sir, would you please elaborate the use of AI in healthcare diagnostic and screening? Where are we heading and what has been done so far? And what lies for us in the future?
Yeah. Thanks, Monica, for asking the question, and I'm glad to share my thought on that. So, in terms of life science or healthcare, I see that where AI is actually doing is it is working in three different areas. One of them is where we are doing more analysis of an image or kind of comparison of image, I would say, and then based on those comparisons, making a predictive models. Yeah, and after generating those predictive models, we can also predict certain areas which can be in future. I'll give you a real example. Uh, Now we have a lot of cancer cases in India which are growing. One of the major prominent cancer is breast cancer, and we are doing mammogram for detecting that. Yeah. So nowadays we have softwares like Google have DeepMind. We have AI Inner Eye from Microsoft. These are actually helping in taking those images sample. We can parse those images by labeling them, making a generative AI technology to understand what are the images which are uh, correct or which are malignant or non-malignant, and we can actually detect the cancer. Yeah. So this is helping a lot in identifying those areas which probably a doctor would also do it, but not at that scale. So what AI is bringing is looking into those images, giving you an right insight, and then of course, I would say that we should not rely fully on AI because you still need human intervention there. Yeah. So this is one of the example. I'll give you another example where we are working in life science or looking into identifying. So another is a prostate, right? A lot of people have a prostate problem, and where we are seeing these changes are basically it's the pathology use case where you can utilize the pathological slides to identify which sample would have a prostate or not. And there is AI called Path AI. You can use that to identify these pathology images and to identify what we can do. There's a typical third example, which is very common in India, is cataract or glaucoma, right? And we are using AI in that, in identifying using advanced detection system. So there are system which is called ARDs. These ARDs are used in identifying the retinal changes or kind of any kind of glaucoma in patient. Yeah. Another example I can give you is lot of time we see that we use ECGs, and ECGs are pretty common in people to detect any kind of arrhythmia. Yeah? So nowadays we have AI system, and some of the hospitals are using this auto detection to give these ECG samples and then identify if there any arrhythmia. Yeah, I'll tell you a classic case of this, which is I think most of the people are aware that we have Apple Watch, and that watch we people use for identifying maybe steps or their heart patterns or the calorie burn. Yeah? But there's a classic case on Apple where one of the user who used to check every day his pulse rate or the pattern, one fine day he find that uh, his pattern of pulse shown on the watch is pretty different than previous days. Initially thought it may be something different, but then he felt a little uneasiness. Yeah. And then he went to the doctor and say that, look at my watch, it shows something different. And doctor says, yeah, you are at very good time. You are going to have a heart attack soon. Yeah. So you have actually predicted the heart attack before even happening. Yeah. And this was one of the most popular case for Apple, where Apple have actually say that we just not make a watch or a device, but we help in saving lives. Yeah. So these kind of use cases are now helping us to have a preventive measures in place. And the problem here we are solving is not just identifying, because a good doctor or a good diagnostic equipment can solve it, but at the scale which AI can do it. Yeah. And imagine that I was reading one of the case of cancer in Mumbai Cancer Hospital, right, where people were saying that 20% of the patients which are flowing towards the Mumbai cancer hospitals are from the smaller parts of the country, very villages, yeah, where you don't even have a basic system or even a nurse to help you. And they flew to maybe 1800 kilometers or 2000 kilometers, and then they know that, oh, maybe I'm in stage 3 or I don't have a cancer at all. Yeah. So these AI systems can then be used to get a diagnostic image that can be processed. We can have a software which is in the rural area, remote area. Those can actually predict you have a cancer or not, number one. And number two, if you have, in which stage you are. So by sitting at a rural place in India, just using this AI powered devices, we can actually figure it out the initial diagnosis. So these are the area where we are working in diagnostic and all that. And now you talk about life science. I would say that in life science today, we are not just doing drug discovery. The days are gone when we just say that it's just a drug which is discovered. We are more discovering on genomic. So genomic medicine is looking into your customized gene pattern. Nowadays, you might have seen that a particular drug work on one person but do not work on another person. Yeah. So while doing genomic medicine, we are actually identifying the gene of an individual and then making a drug which is customized to that particular person. So it's like just you are not buying a shirt from a vendor, you are actually going to a tailor and make a ready-made shirt for yourself. So we can look at your gene pattern, we can identify which particular gene is actually causing these cancer receptors in your body, and then we can initiate your T cells to destroy them. Yeah. So in life science, it is more going on customized drug, more on genomic medicines. We are not just on the chemicals or doing on the drug discovery. Yeah. So these are some of the trends which we see today, and that is where I think industry is going. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. A quick question that stems out from your answers. You have given us some examples where you have mentioned that we are able to diagnose and predict the diseases, and you also talked about the accuracy. So, how far are we from the full scale of operation? Are we already there, or we need to work a lot?
In some of the cases, we are there. Like I talk about maybe and detecting an ECG pattern, right? Which is we are using RCNNs to identify that today. So we are pretty much there. Yeah, of course, there is a lot more complexity today, right? In terms of data and analyzing data. So I would say that AI is increasing a wash, but for sure it will take some time to reach to the new natural human intelligence where we are. But I would say that do not consider AI just as a tool which will give you a result and you just rely on. You still need a human in loop. The problem we are not solving is just by replacing a good doctor. We are actually solving the problem of scalability, of availability of those doctors into multiple areas. And it is humanly impossible for a particular doctor to maybe see 5,000 patients in a day. Now he can see only the generated output of potentially suspect of these glaucoma cases or cancer, and then majority of his time to look into it. So that's where we are. Yeah.
Thank you. Uh, Another thing, I mean, talking about diseases, and we recently uh, experienced a pandemic. So my next question to Dr. Mustaq Ahmed is, sir, are there any lessons that we have learned about the preparedness of the healthcare system through AI?
Thank you very much. You have given me some interesting the work that pertaining to that we have done in that during this corona period, that COVID-19 virus, the RNA of that is required to be converted into the DNA, and we requires to go for this enhancement algorithm currently, which has been used by the WHO fast time blast algorithms. So we have gone through the extended part of that where that longer sequence of the longest subsequence that can be determined in the fast and efficient way. So in that, the work which we had done in order to maximize the efficiency with the least amount of the time, and that we have done very good parallelizations of that longest common subsequence algorithms, so that that can be distributed among the multi-core architectures where that result can uh, easily get outcomes, and the comparative analysis of the change in the COVID virus that can be easily estimated, and pertaining to that the efforts that has been widely accepted. We published that work also in the reputed journal and conference. And now the extended part of that we are also doing, where we are giving this our approach algorithms which can be used by the WHO, so that anyone who wants to have any sequence which is required to be compared with our approach, in that case that can work in the cost and efficient way. So the challenges were there during that COVID period, that and the government of India was also seeking to have those type of the research work pertaining to that very area where such type of that research work related to that COVID is to be made. So the AI, if we look into that, how this AI has given this contributions toward the new research related to this pandemic, that the vaccine which will take years of time, so that we will be able to get that in a least amount of the time. So, and the new vaccines, updated vaccines that were created to mitigate such viruses. So in that case, the awareness and the use of the medicines or the vaccinations which is precautionary measures that were created and being circulated among the people, so that they can tolerate such type of the virus attack. And this is what that big achievement of the latest machine learning and the AI is, that is giving this predictive type of that solutions in advance, so that the mitigations of that can be made. So the challenges are also there in this, like the uh, earlier Shri Abhishek ji has said that the carcinogenic type of the conditions are also there, which are more likely because of the environment pollutions and other contaminations of the water and the adaptation of the food. So the life cycle of the people has been changed drastically, and that is leading to such type of that carcinogenic conditions, and we are much prone to get such type of the disease. So preventive measure of that is very much important, and that requires the use of the AI and machine learning to do that in advance. Pertaining to that efforts that we have made, that we have tried to use this early stage of the carcinoma for the early stage detection of the carcinoma, and there our approach is giving it that the far and innovative ideas of matching the patterns and identifying that how fast it is going by accumulating that or the merging of those type of the areas. With that, the machine should be able to identify and classify that whether that is malignant or benign. And pertaining to that, I will give you this interesting work which we had done, and still that is pending. And I had a discussion with the Sarthak that how we could make this type of this collaborative work. The work which we have done is giving us this 86% of the accuracy, whereas we do require to have this 99% of the accuracy, because in the medical science, small variations would lead to, and the variation of that would be a catastrophic situations in terms of that health hazard. So in that case, the higher precision and accuracy is desirable to make a source of the robust device. So my objective for the past 10 years is that I would like to have that type of that embedded device, which would be having this AI, if AI enabled type of that on chip, in the synthesized version of that on chip on that, it would be able to detect that fine needle aspirations or that data which has been to be given to the machine, which has been which has been installed or located to the remote rural area where that early stage of the diagnosis, whether that patient is carcinogenic or not, malignant or benign, that can be detected. So that part is we are trying to make that so that the larger people at the rural area would be get benefit of the latest advancement, the work which we are trying to do, and that is what the achievement that we would be providing to the services to the mankind, that such type of the work is more important, so that the early stage detection is more important rather than going for the cure for the later stages. So pertaining to this, in our department, if I say that around 11 or 12 faculty members, they are working specifically in the health areas. And in that, the recent work which we have done is that the oral cancer detection, where that data corpus we have taken from the multiple institutes and especially from the Ajmer Medical College, SMS College, and the Mahatma Gandhi College. And using that, we have achieved the higher accuracy and precision which can be used for the predictive output that can be a good solution, so that what type of the decisions the doctor should make. So the assistance, AI assistance would be enhancing that support based on that the detections of the early stage carcinoma. So I think that is a good achievement from our side. If but that need to be incorporated in terms of that hardware device, which should be used as for the easy and early stage diagnosis. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. It is quite relieving to hear that we have made good progress in both the protection and mitigation of such situations. Should they happen again, God forbid, but we have made good progress. Thank you, sir. Moving to education and adaptive learning. AI is already there and it is changing the way we function. So my next question would be to Dr. Neeraj Kumar Varma. Sir, there is a lot of disruption in technology and in the ways we teach the students. So to handle this disruption, how can AI help us in education and adaptive learning so that the students are ready?
Thank you, sir. In education, if we are adopting technologies, then it requires some responsibilities. Like when new technologies come, it should be responsibly used. Like if we are ethical in the data creation and we are ethical in algorithm generation, then definitely we will do better in a side of technology for the students, and as well as when we are creating a good model and a good system, then it will help the society as well. If the student must know that what are the things that they are required, like predictive models, if we are doing, then we require unbiased algorithms like that. If we are focused on how the biasing is removed from the algorithms, then definitely we will do better, and that will useful and fruitful for the society, so that it can adapt and get the maximum benefit from this healthcare also. As you know, every model will give you a better result if in a back end it will be done previously very well. And that will the two challenges we require. First one is upskilling about the technology they are behind the scene we are using. And if you are do good as a student or as a technocrat, then definitely this model will create in a good sense, and that will help to the society as well.
Thank you, sir. Yes, please, please.
Actually, this question is more towards the students who are sitting out there, right? And I see you guys very much unclear what we are talking about. This is something which I feel is going above your head, right? Yes or no? Right. So this question is for you guys. How you can automate your learning with the help of AI? Is that my correct understanding? Okay. Now there's a term that he mentioned about the adaptive learning. Right. You all are engineers, right? Pursuing BTech in computer science or other streams. Do you think each one of you guys are having a same capability and capacity to learn each thing? Yes or no? No. Some may be quite sharp, some may have taken some time. But as a professor, do you think they will wait for someone? The classes will go on, the subjects will go on, the units will go on, right? But will AI do this? No. What AI will do? They will have a prompt which will make sure that you are learning at your own pace as an adaptivity. Now, let's say I'm quite good at algebra or quite good in some functions. So I'll go ahead and quickly solve those problems, and it might increase the level of questions. But if somebody is not, they will give a training methodology how to learn those things. And that is where you need to adopt AI in your life from the student which you are right now in second year, third year, whichever year you are right now. Start using AI to learn things. And for a professors, for a teachers, AI is an assistant that will remove their grunt works like administrative, creating problem statements. So we, as a corporate, we always hear some complaints and requirements that, hey, we need some use cases so that our students can learn about the industry things. Now I see even the universities are not more reliable with the corporates. They can build those use cases with the help of AI. They can generate the synthetic data with the AI. You just need to understand the concept, and AI will help you to build multiple use cases. You can distribute it to the candidates. So as a professors, they can use AI as assistant learnings, and for our students, you can learn in your own pace. You can ask questions. I don't know how many of you are using Gemini. I suppose you all of us. सबके पास Geo होगा, right? So it's a free version. You can upgrade to Pro. You can use Gemini Pro and start learning. And I'm using it. I don't need anymore my marketing team to create contents and videos for me. Now I'm building all my contents, all my videos, all my proposals with the help of an AI, right? And if you have seen Notebook LLMs, anti-gravity, Claude, cursors, we all are so much into it now. And I would encourage this generation to use AI in your learnings, right?
I will add one part of this because this is a very interesting point where we need to focus on that. The important thing is that the behavior of the student is varied. Okay, one of and there are the multiple constraints that is based on that the performance of the student can be measured. So what we have gone through as a part of my research work, the Pravesh person is doing this, the behavior analysis of the student to provide the mentorship or the assistance that where that person is lacking or is devoting his more time. So in that case, we have made this a personal basis system. So where, like he has said, that the collection of the data from the 100 number of the personas is too difficult to collect that. So we have done this artificially, synthetically generating using the smart. And using that, the corpus has been created, and based on that, the behavior of the person is being analyzed, and that way, what type of that mentorship and the assistance and the counseling that is to be needed, so that his focus, which is being diverted, can be managed, and he has to make the better performance. Or if the person who is better performing, one should realize that in what area he is devoting more time, so that the other may get inspired and get learned. So in that case, the challenges are there. So where such type of the things are required to be made, and each and every university institute, they must be having such type of that systems where the counseling can be made to the student. And I think within a year that will be a fully furnished stackable type of that that will be available, and we will give that to all the institute for their performance for the student. Another important aspect that you have mentioned is that the use of this AI for their research and the academic work. Now, we are also facing this type of the challenges where that the mind of the student is required to be explored and he has to make the more learning. Nowadays, this is the big challenge pertaining to that the assignment which you are giving. The student is taking the help of this ChatGPT and Gemini and giving those type of that output without putting their brain. So this is a lacking part which we need to focus on that something which is more relevant, which requires your own analysis and the efforts, which should be reflected in terms of that competing and doing that coursework rather than going or depending on the AI-based technique. If the student who is taking or this AI help for writing the conference or journal paper, the Trinity like the software, so they give so that how much of the component is taken from the AI or that ChatGPT, and that gives that reflection. If it has been there, in that case, the paper will be outrightly discarded. That you have not put your own brain. So I think that the emphasis should be given on that more analytical part rather than that the basic assistance where that AI would be helpful. So only that restricted portion of that you should think on rather than complying to the entirely based on that AI. So those type of the challenges are there. Pertaining to that, the assistance type of the things, the annotations while writing the program, you may find that the completion of the sentence that which you may likely to get or use in that case that is assisting that you can easily write fast and efficient way. So in that case, this AI is a helping tool. But for this engineering, something which will have to be very attentive that which part you may think on that should be added and where you should not use this AI. So I think this would be a useful information pertaining to that, the limitations and the consequences pertaining to that, the extensive use of this AI, which may not be you may not be able to handle yourself rather than getting dependent entirely on this AI. So I think that you should have some focus on that also.
Thank you, sir. We are trying to establish that maybe the AI architects are able to develop algorithms that may adapt to the individual learnings. But a question that we may take up later is that what kind of preparedness are we looking at from the service providers? How well will they be able to use the AI systems? We may ponder over it a little later on. Moving to the citizen services and governance, which is one of the areas that we are discussing today. My next question would be to Mr. Nipun Vyas. Sir, how do you think AI is now assisting us in terms of the citizen services such as online text filing, license renewals, digital identities? How far has it reached and how are we taking a stance from it?
First of all, thanks, Ronak, for your kind introduction, and thanks to ICFAI organizers and management for calling us and providing this opportunity to attend this panel discussion. I'll come to your question directly. So, how AI is being applied to today the citizen services? So more of this I will cater to how it is being done in India today. So if you see lately in India, there has been a trend that we have been upskilling our digital infrastructure in terms of various things. First thing is the Aadhaar-based identification has come in. Second thing is if you see everything is being digitalized today. There are various infrastructures which government has come up like India AI, that is basically a service which government is trying to establish today where they will be running their AI infrastructure. Now, how it is being done in India is government is trying to push AI models. Can you just brief the whole wording again?
It is the citizen services and the governance that we are looking at. I think we are
Okay,
getting
yes.
more and more dependent on AI.
Correct. So various things are, first thing, how Aadhaar identification will form the backbone of this whole AI infrastructure. I'll give you the whole concept of how a AI model is being deployed today everywhere. First thing is the data layer. So government is collecting all the data for various citizens using, say, Aadhaar identification or your other things, say Ayushman Bharat. Through that, they are having the data regarding your health data, other things. Now, this is the data layer part. Second part is the infrastructure which they are trying to provide through India AI initiative. The third thing is when a model is hosted, you have to provide it through APIs. So government is actively working on that. And fourth layer, which is the service layer. So that is where ROI gets generated. And many of the business people are interested in generating ROI mainly. But as a user, as a public, we want to get benefit out of it. Some add-on should be there for me to use AI if somebody is providing AI-enabled services. Now, apart from all these, recently you all might have faced some instances where you might be getting some spam messages, or you might have heard about the digital arrest, many other things. Now, what government or say what public institutions or even private players they are doing is they are hosting the fraud detection models. They are trying to detect the frauds earlier, and they are then trying to educate the citizens early enough so that they are aware of all those things. And that's how government is trying to provide a value add to all of us. Apart from that, we all, so how in COVID, we all would have installed the COVID app and all those things. And you all would get some alerts or messages where you will all of a sudden see some distance near you, there is someone who has been, say, affected by the virus. So how do you think it would have been, how it would have been done? There would have been a model which would have been tracing the people who were, say, infected by that virus. That would have generated some insights which would have been then pushed to your mobile. So all these applications were developed by for citizens, and then that's how they helped all of us. Coming to the technological point of view, now this is all good to say and hear, but what as a student you have to do? So AI is something whose crux is you solve the intelligence and that will solve every other thing for you. So if you have developed a model which works, or if it is a solution, if it works for one thing, it will 100% work for everything. So I'll come to what Dr. Mustaq said. He was trying to do something like he wanted to have a device which would say be placed in a remote village location, and then that device will do some intelligence and it will work, it will give some insights to the village patients. Now, that is actually edge-enabled AI device. So what happens is your model is running on your edge location. It is trying to comprehend that particular subject's data, and then it syncs with its backend and it gives some insights for that. So that is another way how the citizen services can be brought up using AI. You will have some mobiles where some apps will be installed. They will do some work for you, and you get the value add or benefits like early detection of, say, diseases and all those things. A similar pattern was observed in what Abhishek said. If you as students, if you are able to identify, okay, if I can perfect image processing using say CNN or RNN or say GNN, whatever algorithms you want to use. Once you perfect it technologically, say if you get a case for health science, or tomorrow if I say, okay, I'm giving you an image where you need to identify the components of a PCB board, or if somebody says you, okay, this is my image, detect a man in it, or something like that. What every one of you will do. Someone will say, oh, I am not from health science domain, I will not do it. Or someone will say, okay, I am not from electronics domain, I will not do it. Or someone will say, okay, I am not an artist, I don't want to discover features in an image. But since I am a technologist, I have learned image processing. For me, it is just another application of CNN, RNN, or some another algorithm. What I will do is I will quickly lap onto it, and I'll just apply my intelligence how to process any kind of image, and I'll do it. So the crux here is for as a student, what you want to take away from here is you just have to perfect your technicals, then rest all are use cases, be it health science, be it public domain, be it education, adaptive model, anything, you can apply it to everywhere. So that's my take.
I would add just some application like we talk about citizen service, right? Nipun talk about COVID app, but pretty common, and I think most of you have used is using this Aadhaar or biometric detection. When I was traveling from Bangalore to Jaipur, right? I don't have to basically show my ticket or I have to show my ID, right? It detects my face. I use Digi Yatra. I just insert my ticket number and it knows who I am. Yeah. And the boarding gate just open. Yeah. So this is one of the classic example where you can use digital services today by capturing this data. Another is when you go to a toll gate, you no longer now pay a manual toll, right? It's through your FASTag. How does FASTag know that this is the vehicle which is entered, right? So it helps in reducing bribery. It helps in reducing, making sure that the right vehicle pass through. Yeah. And not only that, nowadays they are integrating your pollution certificate, your other essential compliance in your FASTag. So recently there was a case in one of the state where the pollution control board have not received the data from central location, and they have put fine on so many vehicles because the PUC certificate was not showing. Yeah. So this is another system where you can track governance. Another important example I would just add is Supreme Court of India. Most of, or I would say all of the decisions are in English, right? And now in India, we are not all learning, we are learning English, but not in rural areas, people don't know English, right? So how do they refer to that judgment? So nowadays, AI have some models which will convert every judgment into regional language. And in India, we have multiple regional languages, right? So these are some of the use case which you can see already implemented and getting benefited around us in India.
One thing which I would like to emphasize, like with the India AI that was stated, pertaining to this AI, it is required that we should have a robust machines in order to compute all those type of that and decision making criteria based on that the large data corpus available. Without that, we would not be able to do that. So in this, the currently in India, we have only the 3 clusters of the which are in use for the AI purposes, and the India is AI is also under this MHRD, which is providing such type of that services. So the resources, infrastructure, and platform, whatever that is required. For our department, we are hiring those type of the services from the India AI, so that our faculty and staff who wants to use research scholar who want to use this AI research work, in that case, the minimal resources that should be there in our institute. If it has not been there, we should have to hire them. And in that part, we are going in that way, and the H200 and the B200 type of that latest GPU based systems, which are very much important in order to make this AI based type of that research work. Without that, it would be very difficult to do that. And so the resource constraint is the big concern. And in this, the India is very much lagging behind compared to the China and America. America is the first with that around 40, and the China is 26, and India is only 3. So this is the limitations that we do not have the sufficient infrastructures to work in that, specifically in this AI part, where that the deep learning and the level-based data corpus which is required in order to make that fast computations and decision making. And this is a challenging part in India, that how to get more resources and do this AI type of the research pertaining to this which is used for the elderly people. For the smart city, it is desirable that every person, irrespective of his age, that may be a child, infant, or a young or adult person, they seek those type of that assistance, and that AI-based assistance, if it is been available, in that case, that will be a far better type of the things which is expected, that as a part of that public service that government should provide. And without having this infrastructure, it would not be feasible. So first we should have the infrastructure in our country, and based on that we would be having that type of that facility. Thank you.
Right. Thank you, sir. It is indeed important to have the infrastructure to have the AI running smoothly. Also, talking about these services, I would like to seed in another idea, and I would like to pitch this question to Mr. Sarthak. So we are experiencing a great transformation in service and delivery. The troubleshooting is now being moved from humans to AI chatbots, and I think this could be one of the endeavors of your team. So if you talk about chatbots, what do you think about its adaptability, its transparency and accuracy?
As Vyas said, it all depends upon the model and the architecture of it, right? What feeds in, that feeds out, right? So, but yes, as a chatbot applications that we are seeing currently deployed across the government applications, for private, it's smoothly running. We are seeing a huge transformation that all the Indian citizens are now not waiting for a long queue to get an answer. We may have witnessed in our 10 years back that there's so much of pending tasks in a post office or in Aadhaar or even in the like M-Parivahan, that there's a lot of queue that is not getting resolved. But those agents, it's not the right word we use as chatbot, they're the agents, right? So each agents are being trained according to the personas, right? Now, let's say if somebody would like to know about the fast track application, so there's an agent who will give an entire guidance how to install and how to do everything, right? So now that has adaptability has increased. The Indian users are now getting more faster response, and the wait time has been reduced, right? And we each are having a good time with this agents, right? And in the coming days, we'll see a lot of these applications rolling out in WhatsApp, right? So that it's faster interactive, right? And in the language barrier that we have, we travel 100 kilometers and the language changes, that multilingual facilities will also be integrated, so that even if in the rural, now everybody is using smartphones, right? So that constraint has been removed. So I think it's a good thing, even from rural to urban areas, everybody is having this applications, agentic applications to solve their problems on the Indian services that we're using.
Thank you. But it definitely it is transforming the ways the troubleshooting and services are being given to the public. But then, are we there? We still have to work a lot. Is there still an urge to speak with a human?
Yeah, there is always a human in loop. There is no AI model which can have an empathy kind of a sense, right? So we need to have a human We cannot, let's say, for an example, you guys, right? I don't know how many of you have taken education loan, let's say, right? Now, let's say you have a agentic AI application where you feed your, let's say, your father wage and everything you have put, and then that agent denies to give you a loan. Correct. But would that solve the problem? No. Right? There has to be a human intervention which comes in and understands the criticality of the situation, right? So AI, if without that human empathy, is not gonna work. But definitely, always there's a human in the even for multiple in the life science or even in the medical, right? We need to have a human always intervention. But yes, the redundant work has been removed, the scalability has increased, the faster outreach has been improved, right? So yes, I think we are improving, but always there would be a point of human interventions, right? One example which I wanted to give in the life science, because you are coming from that domain. One of my customer who is based out of Basel, Switzerland, so they deal with crop protections, right? So their development of the crops is in a span of 10 years, right? Now, what we have done is we have installed cameras, which is in an AI vision camera. So they are detecting the diseases from the crops in the sphere of 2 or 3, so that they don't have to wait till 10 years to whether understand whether the crop will be defective or ready to use, right? Crop detection that we are doing with the customer, and that is saving millions for them, right? Time and money, right? So yeah, and but yes, still there is a human on the ground who is tagging and who is doing all those things. But yes, now the time has saved, money is saved. Yes.
I would just add into this chatbot which we discussed, and I think Sarthak discussed about empathy. So empathy is pretty important because what happened is in the AI world, when we are sending data and let's say the model start predicting itself, and let's say we talk about loan, right? And somebody has been denied loan, and then AI start predicting that this particular, I would say, community or a region or a pin code is active, having more rejection of the loans, right? Now, AI does not understand why. Anytime even a legitimate person from that pin code filing an application will get rejected.
They have a pattern of
Yeah.
understanding.
So it just look into your pattern, it takes some decision, but it doesn't mean that everyone from that community or from that region is not an legitimate person to get a loan. So there are false alarms, right? There are things which are not truly correct. So you always need a human in the loop. And then at the end, there are certain decisions which can only not be taken on the data. For example, someone is from economic weaker section, so you may not provide a loan, but you may provide a lesser interest rate, or the college will provide a scholarship to that. That kind of human touch cannot be solved by AI. You still need a human in place, yeah, to do it.
Thanks.
Abhishek mentioned, okay, say loans were rejected from a particular PIN code, as the chatbot or the model did just took one variable, okay, this PIN code I have to reject. Now, what is technically wrong in that? The model which was being trained for doing that was looking into lesser parameters. If you would have added more parameters like, say, income of an individual, his social background, and many more things, the model would have understood those things better and it would have given the better results. So just when you guys are doing something or trying to solve a problem, try to understand all the parameters which are present in your data, and then take all of them together and try to build up a model for any use case. I would say.
Also,
AI is something that everybody's talking about. At the same time, everybody is also talking about sustainability and sustainability development goals. So I would like to understand from this esteemed panel, uh, does AI adoption aligns with the goals that we have set for ourselves? If yes, then how? If not, then what can we do?
Yeah, in my view, it definitely aligned to that because if you see what AI is solving problem, we talk about crop detection, right? Like Sarthak talk about crop detection. So you know that the basic problem of is getting food for everyone, right? So today by doing what Sarthak told, putting an AI camera or a device, or even identifying the different soil patterns, you can increase the productivity, right, of your crop. So that solves your food problem. So if I'm not wrong, it comes under sustainability goal two of solving anyone's problem of hunger, right? Now, once you have people who are fed with, right, the next step would come is, okay, how can we make people healthy? Yeah, and that's another sustainable goal. To make people healthy, again, you have predictive models, you can better identify data, you can prevent some of these diseases. You can even develop some customized drugs to make them more healthy. We talk about ECG patterns, we talk about cancer detection, we talk about customized drugs. So that's another one. And third, I think we touch upon that topic in adaptive learning and how can AI help in education. So everyone, I think Sarthak talked about that people have a different level of learning path. So you can actually build something which is adaptable to your learning. Now, for the students here, it is very important that most of the students are kind of looking maths as a very complex subject, right? Especially in engineering, we use very complex mathematical problems, right? So there are AI solutions like math.ai. You can check it. That will actually help you to solve maths problem. And some of the university, like Carnegie Mellon University, they are using this adaptive model to work and actually train the student with their own pace. So we solve problem of food, we solve problem of health, we solve the problem of education, and these are part of the sustainable goal. And the least, we all know renewable energy, clean energy. We are looking into more better ways to develop electricity and not to destroy our environment, right? So there is also AI helping us in doing better and better system. Unfortunately, AI itself consume a lot of data, water, resource. So that is a flip side of that. Yeah, but I think we have to become more and more sustainable and more greener, and AI will help us. Yeah.
Yeah, it is not only that part because the amount of the energy which is being consumed to compute, the similar amount of the energy is required to cool that. So this is the big challenge that how to keep those type of that device in active conditions. So this is the challenging task. And the concerning part for the topics which you have mentioned, that is a implication of that is also a challenging one which we need to handle. Likewise, this health hazard part where the genetically modified food is being incorporated, where that is selective approach of the partial modification and its implication for the mankind, or what type of the drugs that need to be used in order to rectify that. Pertaining to that, the challenges are there, where we have to look into that such type of that modified food should not be incorporated. But the AI is also being used in that suggestive way and a selective approach for that change in the behavior, change in the food, change in their habits of the eating, that are also being targeted using these AI techniques, where the peoples are taking those type of the advantage of this AI, where the affecting part of that is largely the poor people who are using those. They do not have any options available, and but to use those type of that modified food and the health type of that medicine, which is also of the very high cost. And such type of the challenges are there. The awareness of that is very much important, and we have to focus on that, how to mitigate such type of the challenges for the betterment of the life. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. I would also like to speak on behalf of the students in a question, and it has two parts. First is, how can students start learning AI and they can prepare for AI-driven careers? One, how can industry and academia collaborate to create AI-ready graduates to look at faster and quicker and smoother absorption of these students in the industry?
Okay. So from my side, I would say that industry academia interaction is very much important because all those type of the challenges where that the services out to the end user that is that requires the industry requires to give that type of the demand, that will be requires to have that manpower and this much of the knowledge. So in that case, the machine learning and the data science and deep learning, they are the integral part of getting aware. After that, the decision making based on that, the suggestive output based on that AI techniques that need to be given, so that the final decisions that, or the assistance can be made. So in that case, the resources pertaining to that must be there, that the faculty, the data source that must be there. And if the data corpus is not there, in that case, the synthetically, artificially generated data, which is to be used in order to enhance that output to make that favorable decisions. So that is what that we refer to as the generative AI part that must be there. And in that case, the challenges which are required at every level of the abstractions, irrespective of whatever the discipline is, the student must be well aware about that, where there's such type of that machine learning and deep learning and the synthesizable on-chip, all this RNN, CNN, DNN, so that must be there, so that the enhancement of that work can be made without any attack or mitigations of those type of the attack. We require to have those type of the knowledge among the student to go through that and make those type of the sophisticated device which can be used for the faster decision making. And those type of the challenges are there, and the refinement of that is very much important, because the earlier decisions which were being made, like in the when we studied, we used this expert system, which was the rule-based system. Nowadays, we are having this large data corpus available, better machine, and the faster computation power. In that case, the decision based on that can be made with that better accuracy and efficiency. In that is what is expected. So the different domains in the area where such type of the assistance is required, the institute or the student should have to focus on that, and industry requirement and the demand, they should have to be there as part of their curriculum and the assignment which is to be used. So direct student who have gone through the industry would acknowledge and recruit them, because they are already well aware about those type of the challenges which they have attended. So I think this is what that the attention should be made, so that better placement and the better use of the student manpower, so that should be incorporated in the industry.
Thank you, sir.
As a, if I can add here, so as a service company, right, we always look forward to hire people from universities, campuses, right? And I have seen this trend from my early career, because I was part of CDAC when I used to come in ICFAI in 2018 onwards, right? So I've been part of this university a long time now. One thing which I've always seen is that this generation is always trying to do some fancy stuff like on the AI at the day one, right? As a BTech computer science engineer, I have started my career as a Hadoop developer, but my focus was always fundamentals, right? Which is irreplaceable. You cannot replace that, right? You cannot replace data structures. You cannot replace C programming. You cannot replace SQL, right? no matter tomorrow what happens, right, in the market, in the IT, right? In the web applications, I don't know how many of people are now coding in Android applications, right? It's not nowhere. How many of you guys will ever do PHP kind of scripting? I don't see that. But in our time, PHP Laravel was something quite famous, like in 2015, 14. To all my freshers, candidates, SQL, ANSI SQL, which can be applicable for any database. Postgres, Netezza, Teradata, Oracle, MySQL, any database, right? Moving to programming, don't think about Java or Python if it's tough for you. Focus on C programming. Yes, object-oriented programming is also important, so you should learn that. And then hard code your data structures. That is something can take you to even a product level companies or even a service company. I hire people from tier one. I don't judge their data science knowledge, right? Even like in MNIT or LMNIT, even IIT Bombay, I don't judge the data science knowledge. I judge how good you are with the fundamental logics. If that is good, I am open to hire.
I understand. So Sarthak very well pointed out your fundamentals should be strong. So when you are coding as a student, just have your guardrails checked in. Don't go to say any of the tools and ask for the code. Try to code yourself first and then go to the tool about the sanctity of your coded program or whatever it is. So that's how you use AI to its best for yourself. AI will always do things for you, but don't be like you try to guide AI for your betterment rather than AI guiding you for its own betterment. That's how you learn.
Right. It is undeniable that everything that is we have built is on the fundamentals that students have to have strong fundamentals. So, looking at the paucity of time, we will now have to conclude this discussion. Although there is a lot that we can talk about, there is a lot that can come from our esteemed members, but sometimes the time isn't allowed. But whatever we have discussed so far in this discussion has been of great worth to all of us, to all the audience, and I thank all our esteemed panelists to spare time and speak on the topics and then answering questions that we serve them.
Recording in
To wrap up
progress.
this session, we would take only one or two questions from the audience. One or two questions, if anybody would like to ask any question pertaining to the subject that we have talked about.
First of all, thank you so much, speakers. It was quite an engaging session and I learned a lot. As Dr. Verma, Dr. Ahmed and Mr. Acharji rightly mentioned that the initiative of using AI responsibly in learning rests a lot with students, since students have also joined us today. Now, my question would be that how AI-driven language learning tools can bridge the educational and digital divides in our society in India, given the fact that we live in a multilingual, multicultural society. So, how do you think that AI can, deliver quality education, which is culturally responsive and more inclusive? And with that, I would like to ask that, as Mr. Acharji and Mr. Vora, both of you mentioned that we need human intervention to ensure empathy in the process. So what role do we educators or learning facilitators, what role do we have to play in this process, since we are also in the learning phase?
I'll give you a very I'll give you a So I'll give you a very practical example that we are doing in Syllable, right? I don't know how many of you know this. One of our premium use cases that we deliver is the data warehouse migrations from legacy systems to, let's say, any modern platform, data platform like Databricks or Fabric, right? Now, most of the legacy data warehouses which you see, let's say you might have heard about MySQL, Oracle, correct? Where you use SQL as a language to write all those things, right? But when we migrate it to Databricks, let's say, we need to convert those codes, right? Now, maybe you have done 7, 8 tables or 10 tables, but we have to deal with a huge records, right? Which is in petabytes, right? Now, if I have to manually convert all those tables, right, it will take a lot of time. Now, as a SQL developer, as a Databricks developer, I have a knowledge of Databricks as a platform. I have a knowledge of ANSI SQL. Now, what I'll do is I'll put those legacy SQL code in a compiler, in a transpiler which we have created, which will convert those code to Databricks Spark SQL thing. Now, still, I need to have a validation test cases, whether which I converted was accurate or not. Now, for that, what I need to do, again, I have to do validation. It is called as data reconciliation, right? I have to do each and every test cases validated, right? Now, for that also, I build AI-based edge cases, which can help me to understand whether the code which is converted is 100% accurate or not. Now, just think, right now we hired people who joined us on 8th of December in Celebrate as an intern. I am working with one of the largest German airlines. There we are migrating from Teradata to Databricks, right? And again, Teradata is using ANSI SQL. The most of the grunt work, the conversions were done by the interns. Why? Because they were sharp in SQL. They understood this model. The prompts were created, sharp prompts, and we migrated with full test cases. That is the power of an AI, right? Yes, you need to validate. You need to have a human in loop to see whether the test cases are correct or not. Otherwise, you might see 90% because a lot of service companies say that and claims that my accelerator is 90% achievable. But the question always we ask why it cannot be 100%. Because we do not create the whole guardrails. We do not have the whole understanding of the edge cases. Let's create those data sets, synthetic data sets from AI, test it, and then let's do the migrations, right? And most of the companies, service companies, whether it's Wipro, TCS, Accenture, everybody is pioneer in these migrations. But how much they are automating it is the question. And with the help of an AI, anyone sitting out here who knows SQL, only SQL, will be able to convert it. So that's the power of an AI with, again, human in loop. You cannot replace that part at any cost.
The language barrier is now, I think it has been broken. Most of the 5G type of that latest mobile devices, they are having this language conversion in the audio, video, text, whatever that way. So in that case, one maybe is speaking the Mandarin, other maybe is speaking Hindi or English, so the easily conversation can be there. The boundary of the programming languages that is also being overridden by the latest technologies. Earlier we used to use the software engineering software like the rational suite, which is allowing us to convert any type of that program in any language, the C# to the C or the Pascal program, whatever that is there. Along with that, nowadays for the synthesis in AI for on the chip, we do have this type of that conversion tools for the programming language. So only that the conceptual, the syntactical, semantical part, which may be having some sort of that error, the annotations of that is also been there, which can be easily handled and managed. So AI is providing those type of the very good interactive type of the tools and techniques with the help of that agentic part, which has been added for there as a module in those where you can easily convert in the programming which can be used for the any platform. So the facility of that has now been available, so we should get avail of that. And using that the further modification or the implementation and the enhancement of the program can be made. So the barrier of that previously restricted and limited type of that version is nowadays eliminated, and we should have emphasized to use the AI facility to avail those for the betterment and enhancement of the programming skills. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, just to, I know Sarthak and we have talked a lot on this, but maybe just to close on this 2 points. One is guardrails. So we need to have guardrails in place whenever we are working on any kind of, not only AI, but any software development you are working, you need to have guardrails in place. Now the edge cases we talk about, right? So there will be always edge cases, right? I don't foresee that AI will completely replace human. And I would quote one quote from Elon Musk, which he has quoted when Tesla have a big problem when they automated 90% of their automation now. And then they start having failing automation in their car manufacturing facility. So the quote, in the quoted word state that we are undervaluing the human intelligence. Yeah. So don't think that AI is going to be superpowering humans. I think we are undervaluing our own intelligence because we have made AI. AI is not going to run without humans. Yeah. And the future is not only AI, but it is human with AI. Yeah. So just to close with that.
Thank you, sir. It is absolutely true that the need of humans are always going to be there. With this, we come to the end of this discussion. Thank you, respected panelists, for sharing your valuable insights, experiences, and perspectives. Your thoughts have truly enriched today's discussion and have given us deep clarity on the role of artificial intelligence in shaping a better future. We would now break for lunch and arrive back at the seminar hall at 2 p.m. I request our esteemed panelists and the guests to please be in the VIP boardroom for the lunch. Before we leave this place, we would also request for a group photograph with you, sir.
मैम ठीक है
Sir, we would request your presence for a few moments more. I would like to request Professor Rana Mukherjee to kindly present the memento to Mr. Abhishek Vora as a token of our gratitude. I also request Dr. Mukesh Kalla to kindly present the memento to Dr. Murtad Ahmed as a token of thanks and gratitude. May I now request Dr. R.K. Chaurasia ji to kindly present the memento to Dr. Neeraj Kumar Verma. Thank you, sir. I request Dr. Vyas to kindly present the memento to Mr. Sarthak Acharya. I also now request Arya sir to kindly present a memento to Mr. Ripun Vyas. Sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your presence, sir. We will now break for lunch. I request all the faculty members and the participants to move to the mess, and I request all the panelists and the guests to please be in the VIP boardroom for the lunch. The next panel discussion will start at 2:30. I request all the participants to here at 2:15.
Students, hello. I request all the students to please remain seated. I request all the students to kindly remain seated. Please maintain the decorum of the seminar hall.
अलग बनवाएंगे वो लोग अलग बनवाएंगे बाकी देखते हैं भाई सफाई वाले फोटो ये तो एक